Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Rhett Davis and today we will be talking about the game Biblios. And let me tell you, Biblios is probably in my top 5 games of all time. And not because it's overly complicated, because it's not. This is a game that you can teach to anyone and anyone can play, and after the first time they play, they typically want to play it again because because there's several layers of strategy that you can incorporate with this game, but you don't have to have it. And that's the great thing about Biblios. And some of my favorite games are like that, in that you can have a strategy and you can implement it, but it's not necessary. Today we'll be talking about Biblios and how to set it up, how to play, and how to win. First thing you need to do for Biblios is you need to take out this board here, and you need to take out all 5 of these die. What we like to do as a house rule is roll the die and just let them lay as they come. But in the game, in the instructions itself, it says to have all of these die here at 3. So, and each of them are, of course, different colors, and those colors correspond with the cards. As far as the deck goes, all you have to do in a 4-player game is shuffle up the deck and then get rid of 7 cards at random. Once you've taken out those 7 cards and shuffled up this deck, you are ready to go. That is it. That's all it takes for setup. It's really easy. If it's a 3-player game, you take out 3 cards that have a gold value on them, and then 12 of the other cards. In a 2-player game, you take out 6 of the gold coin cards, and then you take out 21 of the other cards. Shuffle them up, and then you're ready to go. So, for a 4-player game, we're going to jump into how to play the game. So, this game has an Act 1 and an Act 2. Act 1, you are building your hand, in a sense. It's a deck building game in that aspect, but it's a bit of a blind draw on that. You're not given 5 cards and you choose from it. So, first thing that's going to happen is on my turn, I'm going to look at this first card. Now, these cards, for value's sake, the gold coins are 1, 2, and 3. 3 being, of course, the most valuable. And then we also have cards of each of these 5 colors. So we have red, orange, green, blue, and brown. On my turn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip up 5 cards. I'm going to flip over 5 cards. And that's 1 card for me, 1 card for what's called a future deck, and then 1 card for each of my opponents. So I'm going to flip them over one at a time and choose. So for instance, the first one here is a green 1. That's not super useful in this game. So I'm going to put that into the 3 for them to select. Then I'll look at the next one. It is also a green 1. So I'll also put that into the mix for them. I'll flip the next one. They have some cards which are dice modifiers. So for instance, on this one, you choose 1 die and you increase it by 1, which at the beginning of the game is pretty useless because I don't know what cards I might have towards the end of the game. So that's one I might put into the future market, which is a face down pile. I flip another card. It's a 2 gold. At this point, I might take it because I need to begin increasing my gold intake for Act 2, which we'll get into. So I will go ahead and take that gold 2. That leaves this last card to just flip and go onto the board for them, which happened to be a blue 4, which these colored cards go from 1 to 4, 4 being the highest. So by flipping that 4, whoever is next after me, player 2, has a pretty easy option here. They're going to take this 4 and put it into their hand. And then it comes down to these 2 for the other 2 players, player 3 and player 4. So for player 3, he's going to look at these letters, because in the event of a tie, whichever letter is closer to A, or is A, wins a tiebreaker. So he's going to take F, probably. And then 4 players are going to take G. Then this whole stack shuffles over to second player, and they're going to do the exact same thing. Flipping up 1 card at a time, choosing if they want to keep it, put it into the future deck for Act 2, or put these out for the opponents to choose between. So once we get all of these cards separated and everyone has taken whatever they want, and we have some cards into the future deck, you'll keep going around and around doing this until all the cards have been selected. Now, all these cards have been selected. Everyone will have the same number of cards at this juncture. And we'll go into the second part of this, which is the auction phase. So what's going to happen here is we're going to flip over a card one at a time, and people are going to auction on them. So for instance, I'll flip over a gold 3. Now, in this auction phase, in order to buy cards that are either brown or blue or any of the other colors, you need money. You need gold to buy those. Now, in this case, we flipped over a gold. In order to get gold cards, you have to trade in a number of cards from your hand. So, I might say, I will bid 2 cards for this gold card here, worth 3. Player 2 might say, I will bid 3 cards for that. And then player 3 and 4 might choose to opt out because they don't want to get rid of that many cards for a gold 3. And I will back out as well. In that case, they will take 3 cards from their hand. They get to pick. They don't show which cards they take. And they basically pay for it out of the game. And take this and add it to their hand. Now, this deck will rotate to player 2 and they will flip over it. And it's a red 1. Like I said, 1s are not extremely useful. But if you have the most, this is an A. If you tie someone and you have this card, you're going to win whatever the value is on red. And, you know, by the end of the game, after all these dice modifiers come out there, this could be a brown 6, this could be a blue 2, this could be a green 4, this could be an orange 1, and this could be a red 4. So that 1 red becomes a little bit more valuable than, say, an orange. And that's kind of the way this goes. We'll go through this entire deck, buying cards, auctioning off cards, until this deck is depleted. At that point, we go into the end game. That's the end of Act 2. So now we're looking at who has the most of each of these colored die categories. So we're just going to show you an example of one, but you do it for all 5 of these. So let's look at brown. Whoever has the most brown cards in their hand will get 6 victory points. Whoever has the most brown cards, value-wise, will win. So we're going to look at player 1. Player 1 doesn't have a single brown card because maybe they saw a whole bunch of people going for it and it's like, maybe I should just stay out of that race. The player 2, however, has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 brown points. Player 3 has a whopping 5 victory points, 5 brown card points. And player 3 has 9 brown points. Now, these two have tied, essentially. So what we're going to look at next is the letters on the bottom of these cards. Whoever has the closest letter to A wins. So this player has the letter C, and this player has the letter D. So in order to break that tie, C will win, and player 2 will win these 6 points, which is big compared to everything else that's out there. Once all these die have been awarded to everyone, then that's the end of the game. Whoever has the most pips on the top of their die, win. So, for instance, in this case, player 2 would have 7, so they would be our big winner. In the event that you have a tie, like let's say they had 6 and they had 7 and they also had 7, then what you do is you look through your cards and see who has the most gold. Whoever has the most gold at that point wins. And that's Biblios. It's really easy. It's really easy to learn, and it's a lot of fun. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow as we play Biblios. And get in the comment section if you have any questions about the game itself. Thank you all for joining us. We'll catch you next time, tomorrow, for our playthrough, because that's the way we roll. 6.